Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I have a fun card for you using some bright new colors that are in the annual catalog put out by Stampin' Up. It's the annual 2020 to 2021 catalog, and it has a great new bundle in it called So Much Happy. It has this great stamp set that has sentiments in here for celebrations, and also one like to have you in my life, to know you, so it can go other occasions. And it comes with these happy dies, and we're going to be using this really cool word die, happy, and the pendant die here. But you can also cut out balloons and stars and bows and strings for your balloons, and a star here. And so this is going to be a really fun stamp set to work with. I've been playing around with it. So here we're going to use two of the new in colors, and that is Magenta Madness and Just Jade. And those colors are part of our new lineup, the new in colors. So we've got the Just Jade and the Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, Bumblebee, and Cinnamon Cider. As you can see, this pattern comes in 6x6, and it has not only the polka dots and the distressed textile on the back of that one, but it also has this neat wood grain and this typeset here, a real tiny little typeset. So it's really nice to make a background border with that. And you can get these in color packs. There's 40 sheets, so you get all 5 colors, and you get 40 sheets of 6x6. So we are going to take a look at what we're doing here. All of the measurements, products I use, colors I use are all on the description underneath the YouTube description. You'll find them there. There's also a place right after the description where I say, visit my blog here. Press that link and you'll be sent to my blog, CindyLeeBDesigns.com, and you'll see additional photos and information there regarding this card. And maybe you'll just spend a few minutes perusing some other things there. So we're going to get started and we're going to use the same colors on this card that we're going to make, but we're just going to flip the colors. So on this card, we're going to be using the Just Jade as our card base, and we're going to use a half sheet of our cardstock, and that's 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. And then we're not going to open it like a book, but we're going to open it in a landscape position on this card. Now the front of the card and also the inside of the card are both the same measurement, which is really nice when you're having a class because then we can't goof up. 4 inches by 5 1/4. So 4 inches by 5 1/4 in the inside and also on the front. So what we're going to do is set this aside because I'm going to show you how we are going to be doing the happy die. Now we're going to be putting that happy die on a diagonal here on the card. Now you could have done it on the straight on your card, but I wanted to do it on a diagonal. So I just put it onto my card on a diagonal and then left enough room down here for me to put a sentiment or something down here. So just put it on a diagonal. If you keep yourself right about, I'd say about a 1/2 inch on this side, and just, you really can't go wrong. Famous last words, right? So we're going to put it into our big shot. And the reason I'm putting it in this way is because if it did reach across here, you don't want to bend up your die. So I'm just going to run that through the big shot, and you'll see how cool this cuts this die out. You may have been seeing some cards where, okay, so when you'll see that it lifts up and it's cut into it. Look at that, that's cool. So my little trick, just pull those off there, put them on the floor till who knows when. And then we're going to also be cutting into a piece of Just Jade. Now this Just Jade is 2 1/4 because I'm going to be putting words underneath here, and I want to have enough room here to play around with my cardstock. So what we're going to do, you can see here I have the shadow of the Magenta Madness here with the white, but this time we're using the jade. So we're just going to put that die across there. Make sure your Just Jade is 6 inches because since you're putting it on a diagonal on the card, you're going to need a little more than 5 1/2, which is the measurement of the card. So just put about equal amount on both sides here. And then we're just going to run that through the big shot as well. I would put my big shot up on the table, but it would cause quite a ruckus there. So here we go. We just come back and we just pull that die off. And you'll notice now I can get rid of these little pieces. I have a border here to play around with. So I'm going to put my die up here. And then I'm going to create that shadow effect on the white part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and this is where you have to be super careful, because as you can see, I just made it here. I just made it. So, but I went past it. That's what you want, okay? So if I wanted to, I could just pull it down here a little bit, and I get a little more green there. And what I'm going to do is use glue, and I'm going to put the glue on the green here, on the Just Jade. I want a little wiggle worm, a little wiggle room. And I didn't put any glue on the actual letters because I didn't want to get, you know, glue smeared there. So I want to have to where I can see that the inside of that A there, that triangle on the inside of the A. So that looks to be good. Turn it around and it looks good here. Okay, so that is our step on making this cool card. So now the next one is I wanted to put this pretty designer paper behind and peek through. So what I'm going to do is be putting this on here with, I want to have enough room on both sides, but I want to keep my polka dots straight. Okay, so you can see here, now you have to make sure that your paper is going to go past the white so you can trim it off. So if I did this, you can see it's not going to reach it. So make sure that you have, and because this is 6 inches, you have enough room there to do that. So I am going to put my glue on my green, Just Jade. I keep calling it green, but you know what I mean here. Just Jade. Okay. And make sure when you go to put this down on top of here that you do it right about halfway so that you have enough paper on each side. As you can see, if you start this way and you say, okay, because if you start up here and you do it right there, you're going to not have enough room to adhere it to. So let's just look at, we're just keeping our eyes at the line of making sure those circles are in line. And you can see I have enough of the designer paper on each side. My lines, all of my circles I'm using as my horizon line and the baseline there. And I have enough paper on each side, and then I can just adhere that down. There you go. And I was really lucky. I should have put my, just so you know I was prepared, I should have used my silicone mat there. Okay, so now what we're just going to do is trim off the excess. Now I'm just going to make sure it's really nice and adhered, and then we're just going to trim off the excess. You can do that with your scissors very easily and quickly, or if you want to use your trimmer, you can put it into your trimmer. Okay. There we go. So look at that. Does that look cool or what? So that is going to be going on to the card base, our Just Jade card base. But before we put it on here, because we're going to raise it up with dimensionals, we want to stamp Happy here. Now because I did it in the Just Jade here, I'm going to use the Magenta Madness here. And it might have been a little better of an idea. We're just going to say a little prayer, Lord, that you would help me to stamp this. Okay. Probably would have been a good idea to stamp this before you put this on in case there's a lump and bump there, but I think we're going to be good. And we're just going to put the word happy here. And we're going to put it right up above there. And hope, I don't know that I actually took a look and made sure, oh, made sure. Sometimes I don't make sure. Sometimes I don't put my labels on. I mean, it's a personal preference. I love that they're really sticky, but sometimes I don't. In this case, I didn't yet. It's a new stamp set. So there we go. We're doing the little bit of the opposite. And then we're going to put on a different sentiment. I was showing my daughter this yesterday, and I said to her, well, what do you think? Should I do I want to pop something up there. And she goes, well, you know what? Really, if you have streamers and balloons, it's really a celebration type of a card. So what about retirement? And I thought, oh, that's great. So then I got out my Well Said bundle, and you know how many great sentiments are in there. And I did the happy retirement, happy retirement, and then I just used the smallest of the stitched rectangles die, and for the inside, time for a new adventure. And I did the retirement, and then I just took my, sorry about that, guys. I just did the same rectangle, put it into here, pulled it back, clicked it with my, you can use anything that has an edge on it. I use my hexagon punch, it's always on my desk, but you could use the edge of a corner punch, or even, there's another one, the tailored tag punch. You can use the tailored tag punch to make that pennant end. So that's going to go right there, and I'm gonna pop that up with dimensionals. And I do believe our big dimensionals fit on here. Yes, they do. So we're gonna put a dimensional there, and a dimensional there, and then just pop those off. Okay, happy retirement. And then we're going to put some streamers up here. These are really cute. Big long die here, makes a real long streamer that will go across the card. I love that. So we're going to put this green, I put the pink closer to the green, so I'm gonna put the green closer to the pink there. So what I'm gonna do is bring back my silicone mat, and because I have a brand new glue, I know that it's going to definitely have come out very easily. And I'm just gonna put some dots right on the pennants. Of course, I'm being a little cautious because I know it's a brand new glue that's going to work very well if I press too hard. So usually when I put glue on, I just give it a second or two to just get tacky before I adhere it to my card. Then I find that I don't get the glue on it as much. Okay. Ooh. So we are going to pop this over here and just put this green pennant there. And then we're going to take the Magenta Madness pennant and put across here. So let's move this over a second and then put some glue on the edges, or these little pennant ends. I like that this is a real thin die. It's actually really pretty. It's nice to have something delicate to use in place of some, you know, the bigger pennants. And then we're going to pop this one also on the front of the card. I think I'm going to do it just like that. And then just let it get stuck to there. And then we are going to trim off these little ends. There we go. There we go. And get this little edge. And note to self, clean off my scissors when I'm done. I know Steph is laughing at that right now. That's what we usually talk about at class all the time, how I need to clean my scissors. So I wanted to pop this up off of the card. So what I did is I made sure that I put dimensionals on this part that's a little thinner, and that's where just the designer series paper is. So make sure you put a dimensional there, and then I'm just going to pop one in each corner. And then put Yeah, this is a card that took a few dimensionals there. And then add to your collection of dimensional backs. Gosh, I found these in my van the other day, on the floor of my van. Must have been on my shoe. They're everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. And get that one off. That one more. Well, when you put a lot on, you have a lot to take off, huh? Okay, let's get that little guy out of there. All right, so now we're just going to get up on your tippy toe. Oh, see, I just found one that wasn't off there. Just get up on my tippy toes. And looks like I've got it centered. You guys can probably see it a lot better than I can. So you can see you've got that dimension, and it really, you can see it in person. You can see that nice dimension there. So I wanted to pop on a couple little embellishments here, and we do have this wonderful coordinating embellishment in the catalog, and that's the enamel dots. And those are for the 2020-2022, because we have our in colors around for 2 years. And so you can see they match with all the colors that we have in that paper stack, and our ink pads, and our cardstock, and our ribbon. So what we're going to do is just put a Just Jade and a Magenta Madness. So let's see. Let's put, I don't think we'll put any on there. So let's just put a Just Jade. You want to make sure that you get underneath the color that's on here. It's easy to pull it apart. So let's just put a Just Jade here. So kind of bend your paper a little bit so that you don't, there we go. There we go. We got a 2 down there, and then we're going to pop some up here. So get underneath there. Actually, do I want to put it here? Yeah, I think I'm going to put it, no, I think here is good. And then a Magenta Madness here. Just bend it a little bit, get underneath the color, and yeah, let's just put it right there. See, I accidentally pulled it apart there. See what I did? These sometimes will come off, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue here. Just a little bit, because it will dry clear. Just a little tad here. But we're going to pop that right, nowhere to go. Okay, there it is. I'm going to put it onto the pink Magenta Madness there. And then I'll be really careful to let it dry there. Okay, so I'm going to let it dry there a second. So in the inside, I just put a balloon. So let's just do that on the inside of the card, and we're going to change it up here. I put the Just Jade with this one, so this time I'm going to do the Just Jade for the for our string, and we're just going to get, where is that string? Oh, here's the string, and we're going to get out our Just Jade. You'll notice sometimes you'll have these little pieces of plastic, and I just take something like my dimensional back or a piece of scratch just to get it off of there. And then I'm just going to ink up the string. And let me see, did I do? Yeah, so I'm just going to put, I'm using my silicone mat to protect my surface. And I'm just going to put the string down in Just Jade. We've got the string. And then I'm going to use the Magenta Madness for my balloon. I like the pattern on that balloon, the stars that are imprinted into it. So I'm just going to put that right at the top of the string. And we have our cute little, now you can also do these in, you know, stamped and pop them up by using the dies that are in the set. But this was just a quick and easy way to get this one done. Put our ink pads away. Lift this up, move aside, and then I'm going to use Oh, here's the card we're doing, the jade one. Okay, so I want to put this on the inside. You can see how cute that is, but I want to put the time for a new adventure there. And we can do that like right down at the bottom. I think I like it that way. So I'm just going to put a little glue here on my sentiment that I cut out with that smallest rectangle there. I'm just going to put that right down in the corner. Just give it the same amount of border right there on the corner. Time for a new adventure. There we go. And since I have my glue out, I might as well just put that on there. But as I always say, if you're going to use glue, just put a little bit in the corners, because I've seen people do this and I don't know that they understand that I have received cards with glue like that, and it does not travel well. So just put a little bit of glue in those corners, because our post office, when they run them through the machines, if you have like a darker colored card base, you should put a piece of copy paper in between so it doesn't rub off on the pretty inside white or very vanilla. But when you have a lot of glue under there, it rubs off and it makes a bump and lump in there. So just try not to put a whole bunch of glue across this part. Just put it into the corners. So look at that pretty card, and this is drying there. So you've got two different cards we made using the Magenta Madness and the Just Jade. Super simple. I mean, this is a really fun wow card because of the layering and the pendants and stuff, but it's super easy to do, and adding just a 2-inch strip of your designer paper, so you can get 3 cards out of 1 sheet of designer series paper. So take a look at that So Much Happy bundle with the happy dies in the annual catalog. If you have any questions, you can contact me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. You can call me or text me at 724-323-2296. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.